82% of American workers say they'd quit their jobs because of bad leadership. Not low pay, not long hours, but bad leadership. If you're stepping into or already are in a leadership role, don't do these 5 mistakes. They will cost you your best performers and will hurt your career in the long run. Now, let's go on to number 1. Number 1 is poor communication. Leaders who are unclear, inconsistent, or simply just don't listen to their teams will create anxiety, confusion, and disengagement from their teams. And it's going to send their teams a message: your voice doesn't matter. And let me be clear here. It's up to us as leaders to make sure that communication is flowing, that communication is clear, consistent, and that we listen. It's not up to our teams or to our subordinates to make sure that they listen to you as a leader. It's your responsibility to adapt to the way your team's communicating. So how can you fix this? So be proactive and ask clear and specific questions. Book regular check-ins for feedback with your team. I would suggest here that you do weekly one-on-ones and weekly team meetings, because that's going to be the most efficient and effective way. Another thing that you should definitely do is to have at least important conversations written up and summarized in an email or in a doc. What I usually do is that I have all of my one-on-ones and all of my team meetings. We have a document where we write everything down so that everybody knows what we've been talking about, what are the important conversations, what are the deadlines, and who's responsible for completing the mission, the task, the project. The next thing that I advise you to do is just to listen. Listen actively. Don't just listen so that you can respond. Listen and hear what the person is saying. Because when you do this, you're truly going to understand how that person is feeling, whether that person's anxieties, whether their thoughts, problems, and issues. The person is going to feel listened to, and they're going to feel that you've been hearing them as well. And if you don't know how to improve, just ask your team, what would be the best way for me to communicate to you? What would be the best way for me to give you clear, specific instructions so that you can understand what I want from you? And that's it. When I was consulting at Porsche, I had this director who was so proud of his communication style. So proud that he legitimately told me, like, Blaž, I honestly don't think I need this training. I don't need your consulting, your coaching, because my communication is amazing with my team. Whenever I need something done, I just send out a one-word email and they know what they need to do. Needless to say, I was dumbfounded when I heard this, and that was one of the reasons why I was actually there to try and help them. So yes, never do that, and never be proud that if you just send out a one-word email or a one-sentence direction that you think that your team is going to understand it. They definitely didn't, and they were probably too scared to ask you. So be aware that whatever you say, it may be completely clear, completely transparent to you, but it may not be to your subordinates. So number 2 is micromanaging. Micromanagement is really prevalent, especially with new managers and new leaders, when they've come up from an individual contributor role to actually being a manager and a leader of a team, because they think that they know how to do it best. So the issue with that is that micromanagement pretty much is over control, and it will kill trust, creativity, and growth of your team. So your team eventually will stop thinking for themselves, and everything is going to be slowed down, and they're just going to be waiting on you to tell them what they need to do. They're going to be pissed off, especially your best performers, and they will quit in droves, because that's one of the biggest killers of high-performing teams. I've posted a couple of videos that go into deep detail about what micromanaging is and how to avoid it. So they're going to be somewhere over here. But what you can do real fast is that you need to over-communicate early so that you can build trust. You need to delegate and then take a step back and let your team members actually do the work. You may have the instinct of just going there and telling them what to do, but don't. It's okay to be uncomfortable. And believe me, you're going to be uncomfortable a lot of times, and that's completely normal. It's going to take a lot of effort and energy from your part to actually make sure that that doesn't happen, that you don't micromanage again. But in the long run, it's going to pay out dividends for your team. What you should do is, if a team member has any issues and problems, be there and mentor them, coach them, ask them questions. Don't give them just the solutions. Hey, do this and it's going to be fine. No, ask them the question. Where did you go wrong? What do you think you should do next? Why did this fail? Why was this an issue? Why is this a problem? Ask them those questions and let the team members figure it out for themselves. and you just be there as a cheerleader and as a supporter and give them all of the possible resources that you can so that they can complete their job. Give your team space. Don't be hovering over them and checking what they're doing over their shoulders. Or if you're in a remote working environment, don't check up on them on Slack, Teams, or whatever communication tool you're using every 30 minutes, 45 minutes, so that they can give you an update. That's too much, and that's micromanaging one-on-one. Instead, use weekly one-on-ones, use weekly team meetings to actually check the progress of your team, what they're doing. And if you're still not comfortable with this, if you have that urge just to micromanage, then start delegating the low-risk tasks first. The low-risk tasks are the ones that legitimately don't matter. They need to be done, but even if they're not done or if they're done poorly, nothing's going to matter specifically to you and your team. So delegate those first and just forget about them. Don't even bother checking on them. Just ask that person that has that task, was that task done or not? If they say yes, don't check it. That's it. Number 3 is you lack accountability. You love to take the credit for all of the successes, but you blame everybody else for your team's or your own failures. You're going to be avoiding hard conversation and you're never going to be following through with anything. In the end, you're going to be blaming everybody else for any failures but yourself. And what that's going to create is it's going to create a culture of finger pointing, and your team, what they're actually going to do is they're going to be making sure that they don't make any mistakes, that they triple check, quadruple check everything, and eventually they're also going to make sure that they have somebody else to blame. So what's going to happen because of that is that the productivity, effectiveness, and efficiency of your team is going to fall down drastically, probably by at least 30 to 40%. You're going to be creating a culture of fear and reprisals, and pretty much your team is going to hate your guts, and your best performers are going to start quitting. And the other thing that you're also going to be sending out to your team is that it's accountability for you, but not for me. So you can overcome this with doing a few things. Be transparent. Always set clear timelines, clear deadlines, and those deadlines actually need to be realistic. Don't just set deadlines just because somebody told you so, even though you know it's not possible, and then blame your team because they didn't have enough time to actually complete the task. Focus on solutions. Even if the task is not done correctly, even if there was a mistake or anything else like that, focus on what can we do to improve it, to correct it. Don't focus on the blame. Oh, this person is horrible. He did this, she did this, and you berating them just for hours on end or for days on end, and just reminding them, hey, you made a mistake at that point, and you're just a horrible person for it because you made me look bad. The last thing that you definitely need to do is you need to set high standards for yourself. When I'm leading my teams, I have the utmost highest standards for myself. If I fail, I fail, and I'll take accountability for it. If my team fails, I'll take accountability for their actions because it was my failure. It's always going to be on me. What's going to happen in the long run is that the team is going to start mimicking my high accountability, high standards, and they're going to be holding themselves up to my standards. Number 4 is that you resist change. And this is actually one of my pet peeves, especially the following sentence: we've always done it this way. This legitimately makes my hair stand up, and I just get annoyed right away, and I make sure that everybody else gets annoyed. Because if we've always done it this way, my question is how we can do it better. Why have we done it this way? And if the answer again is we've done it this way, they're going to roll from my team pretty much. And I will demand from my team that first, I only want a few answers on this. It's we've always done it this way, and this is the reason why, and this is how we're doing it. I have no idea why we're doing this, but I'm going to find the answer. I have no idea why we're doing this, but this person knows. And the last one is I have no idea why we're doing this, and I don't know the answer to it, and I don't know who else can help you. That's fine. I'm okay with this. Now we can move on. Because what resistance to change pretty much is that we're stuck in the same mentality. And it also, for you as a leader and manager, it sends out a clear message. I fear change more than I value progress. I don't want to change. So how can you resist this, and how can you change this? Ask yourself, why am I afraid of this? Is it fear of failure? Is it confusion? Is it about losing control, or just admitting that I don't know? What you can also do is to block a few hours just for thinking time, learning time, innovation time, call it however you want. but have that time and have it on a regular weekly basis just to start thinking how we can do things differently, how we can change. And when you think of something and you think that you may want to change a process or something, just start small. Start with small pilot programs. Test it in small ways before actually going big. People often think that change is something that needs to be gigantic, huge, big. It doesn't need to be. Just take small steps of change, and those small consecutive steps of change are actually then going to lead out to something big. You need to change small to change big in the end. So, number 5 is that you lack empathy and you lack emotional intelligence. So, if you're just dismissing feelings, ignoring everybody else around you, and treating pretty much people are like robots, they're just data points, then you have a problem. Because what that's going to do is it's going to break the connection. It's going to break the trust that people may have had in you. And it's definitely not going to create a safe, psychologically safe environment that your team needs to thrive in their roles. And it's also going to send a message, you're just a resource that I manage. And then you've become the epitome of the word manager. You only manage resources and nothing else. And if you're still of the opinion that a person's emotions don't matter at the workplace, boy, you have problems and boy, you have issues. Because a person's emotions, what they're feeling, how they're feeling, matters way more than you think in your team. Improving your emotional intelligence is a really hard thing to do. Go and get at least some courses, but better yet, go and get some coaching, because legitimately, without proper coaching and without proper help, you're not going to be able to develop your emotional intelligence all by yourself. Remember, you have the power to change yourself and your team for the better. You can shift how everybody else experiences their work. Are they going to be happy when they're at work? Are they going to feel fulfilled? And if it's yes to all of these, your team is going to be an amazing team. They're going to be efficient, productive, and effective, and they're just going to be a joy to work with. Leadership isn't about perfection. It's about awareness, humility, and action that you take as a leader and manager. Now, help me raise that standard of leadership and go on and watch one more of my videos.